POF crew, how you do? I am Tian and welcome to Pregnant Over 40 Talk. We are so grateful that you have come to join us today for our episode 3. And we are a community of women who are either pregnant, desiring to be pregnant, or mommying over the age of 40. So joining on this community, and don't keep this to yourself. There's a lot of good things going on here. Make sure that you share, subscribe, tag somebody, and invite them to be a part of this community. This is where we are growing and glowing. Now, did you know that women who are of the age 35 and over are considered to be geriatric in their pregnancy? So they call it a geriatric pregnancy when you are 35 and older. Ain't nobody geriatric over here. Okay. We ain't geriatric. We alive. We fine. We active. We're mobile. And we're doing it all by God's grace. But yeah, it's more of a term to say that, you're more at risk of having babies at this age, and a lot of things that could potentially happen with you or your child. But over here in POF, we are claiming the blood of Jesus. We are claiming God's grace. We are claiming health and wholeness and joy for the gift that God has given us to be able to bear children. And so we don't really use that term over here, but it is something that you should know in case you hear that term. I think doctors are now using the terminology of more advanced maternal pregnancy. So yeah, that's that. But I want to introduce our self-care moment. And we believe that, as you're momming and as you're going through your stages, it is important to take care of yourself. And so today I wanted to do a product review on Heart and Strands. It is a product that I actually use. Shout out to Heart and Strands and Jessica, who is the founder of this product. It's natural, organic, and made with love, thus the heart. And I actually use it on my hair and I love it. It lays down my hair really nicely. But there have been results of individuals who it just really helps to grow out the hair healthily. And so, we got to keep our beauty up. Just because we preggo or we run after a toddler somewhere in the house doesn't mean we don't have to keep ourselves looking good and keep caring for ourselves. So I actually have the product and I'll just show you so that, here is the product here. And this actually is calendula infused. She fancy. I didn't know what calendula was till I had her product. But it is good. It's really good. And we want to support her. So make sure you go to the provided links and support her so that your hair can be nice and slick back. All right? All right, guys. We are so excited to have our guest today. She is with us, and that is none other than the phenomenal Danielle Johnson. Come on, make some noise, y'all.
Hey, y'all. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so honored. Thank you so much, Tian. It is forward to it.
Our honor, and I'm glad we're here in person. I can touch it. I can touch it. We are so grateful. So listen, let's get right into it.
Okay.
Tell us about yourself first.
Yes. So my name is Danielle, and I am a worship artist. I am also creative director at Saints Church and the leader of worship in my city. I'm a wife, a mama, a woman, a daughter,
all of the things.
a friend. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be here.
This is awesome. Like your journey of being all of these things and dynamics into all of these people.
Oh, yeah.
And you come now into, your 40s and God blesses you with this family. Tell us, is this something that, when we're younger, we always have like, at this age, I'm going to have this, I'm going to, so tell us about kind of where your plans were and then how you end up where you were. And was it a surprise?
Yeah. I've always been ambitious from a very young age. I started playing piano at 6. I was in ballet. My parents just had us in everything, doing recitals, and traveling. And I never once thought about getting married or having children.
Really?
Be honest with you, to say that I'd never picked out my white dress. I never said, I just always was focused on singing, traveling, and being an entrepreneur.
Wow, serious from a young age.
From a very young age. Now, I was always in relationships.
Of course.
Right. Love. But I didn't have those desires. And, honestly, I lost my mom at the age of 16 due to breast cancer. And
condolences.
Thank you. Worst. That's the worst. And so, I guess sometimes I thought, like, am I like a woman? Because other women want to do love and they want to do babies, and I want to do stages and sing and pray for people. And, I was backslidden in college, and I started working a job at New Life Christian Bookstore. I don't know if anyone...
I remember
that. Yes. Yeah. So I was an assistant manager at New Life Christian Bookstore, and I met all of these people. They were going to this 5 a.m. prayer. And I wasn't really like doing the God thing because I was really mad at God for taking my mom. And also I had a really bad breakup. And they was like, nah, just come to 5 a.m. prayer with this lady called Prophetess Bynum. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll come to prayer, child, but that's early. And
change your life, change
my
life.
Existence. It changed my existence. That lady called me out, gave me prayer shawls, threw me on the floor, told them to get her back up. She ignited something in me. And I rededicated my life back to God, started to plant this church called Hungry for God with Apostle Vernell Samuel, Bishop Courtney Bradley. Yes. And that, I think, started the road of thinking about what it could look like for me to expand beyond my current goals. And I met my husband, and we started the journey together.
Come on, husband. Let's give a shout out to the husband.
Andre. Shout out. My baby. Yes. We started the journey, but we started the journey of being ambitious together and just locking into purpose. What was our mission? What was our goal? We started to build together. And in the process, I went through a full body burnout. Now, this is about 10 years into our marriage. I went through a full body burnout. I was a worship director at the time at Saints, and I was working about 80 hours a week only because...
80?
Yes. And only because I was that girl who wanted to just be there for everybody and do everything and make sure everything was okay and put everything in place. I was overworking.
Yeah.
And I was in a space where I was raising up so many leaders. It was inspiring to see them fly. And so I just got maybe addicted, I guess.
Yeah, you got to drive off
pushing, just like pushing them, one fly, another, the fruitfulness. I was just like, yeah, let's do this again. Who else? Yeah. And so May of 2021, I went through a full body burnout, and that's what started the process to me having a child.
So what does that look like? What does a full body burnout look like? And how does that affect your relationship with your now husband?
So my husband is very intuitive and discerning, and he knew I was overworking. And so there was a part of what I was doing where I was, paying attention to the needs of the church, but there was a ministry that God had for me to do, and it was called Worship in My City. He and I had started that before I started the position, but I had kind of threw it to the side to do, what I was doing at work. And I would have dreams, and I know God was like, girl, get back to what I told you to do.
Sure.
And I was being disobedient. He tapped into that. And in addition to the overworking, he said, listen, if you are not going to obey God, we're going to have an issue. Because a part of that is you're overworking over here and you're not doing what God is saying for you to do over here.
Wow.
And so I listened to him, but I didn't quite act until I started to feel like I was operating underwater. Everything was slow. This is the answer to your question about what it feels like. I know we have a woman's audience, so my period completely stopped. And
Wow.
there was nothing showing up on blood work, but I know, as a woman, we know our bodies.
Of course.
Right. And so it's like, I kept telling the doctors something is really wrong with me. I just don't know what. And so in 8 months, I gained 40 pounds. My period completely stopped. I felt like I was operating underwater. I was high anxiety. And it wasn't until one day I prayed and I asked God to help me to find a holistic doctor. This is so crazy. I opened up Yelp and I said, God, help me to find a holistic doctor. And the first one that popped up is Dr. Gucciardo, which he had the best reviews, but turns out he treated everybody else around me and I never heard of him not one time.
Wow.
How crazy.
Wow.
Pastors in my church, my brother's friends all go to Dr. Gucciardo.
Okay.
So I go to Dr. Gucciardo and he does the testing on me and my organs were operating on a low level. And I started a recovery plan, and I'm oversimplifying it. Maybe you might have him on to talk to your ladies, because he is a master in helping women get pregnant. So I don't know if you have any viewers that are looking to get pregnant, but
it encompasses all of that.
Yes. He told me that the stress I was under pushed me into perimenopause early. So I was in perimenopause at 38, completely in another part of life. Wow. Yes. And so hopefully that answers your question too. Yeah. So I got on a recovery plan. He pulled me all the way out of perimenopause back to having a child. Yes. Wow. My body's completely on track.
To God be the glory.
Yes.
What were there some things that he challenged you to do that you found challenging?
Yeah, I thought he was hilarious because he kept saying reduce stress. And I'm like, who are you? What are you talking about? This is New York.
Do you know my life?
Right? I'm an entrepreneur.
Do you know who I am?
A pastor. You know what I mean? No, there's no way I could reduce stress. But I realized, because I kept asking him, should I freeze my eggs? Like, what should I do?
Yeah.
Should I get an egg count? Should I freeze my eggs? Should I get on a detox? Should I da-da-da-da? He kept saying, reduce your stress and trust God. He's saved. And so I just really laughed at him the first year. But the supplements he gave me, I don't know how else to describe it other than it felt like my body was powering up. Like, those computers, do-do-do-do-do. It felt like my body was back on. Yeah. So I got my period in the first year, and by the second year I was pregnant.
Wow.
Yes.
To God be the glory. That's come on.
Yes.
Give God a hand clap for turning that around. Because let's talk about the stress. You're obviously carrying stress, right? But let's talk about what are the fears that come in now with you not having your period for 8 months long, and you're married now at this time. So obviously it's like now.
Yeah. Dre and I got married in 2010. So this happened around 2020 into 2021, and we had our child. So we've been married 15 years now. So the fear was horrible, because even though I never thought about having a child, when people have children and other people are like, oh, I want one. I've never had that.
Okay.
Never. People prophesy to me saying, you're going to have a boy, And I'm like, okay, whenever, I don't know.
Wow.
I never prepared for pregnancy. I didn't do the things. But in that moment when I was sitting on the medical table, I had to make a decision. because I was 38, right? So I was getting to the point where I knew menopause would come soon.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to get well, I would have to share with him that this would be a desire for me to get pregnant, just in case there were more things I needed to do. And so I had to talk with my husband, and we decided to do. So that really was the decision maker.
Okay.
Hey, I'm sick. And so we have to think about what this looks like so that the recovery plan will include everything we would want to do. Yeah.
So where was Dre about having children? I understand you were like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But where was he this whole time?
He was the same. He was the same.
Wow.
Honestly, and also I think too, the more we spoke about it when I did get sick, the more he was like, men, they're like, what's the money's looking like? And how are we going to support? And, and so he was concerned about the money, but our entire marriage and my whole life have been built on faith. See, my mother was told she would never have children, and I'm the first of 3. Wow. And so I was born of faith, and my entire life has been a life of faith. And so our marriage was also built on faith because we're both builders, and there were things that God told us to do that was way beyond us that we built in that 15 years. Yeah. So I just had to remind him that what is born of faith must be maintained by faith.
I love it.
It will
What
only
is
grow.
Born of faith
Yes.
must be maintained by faith. I hope y'all taking notes. What's born of faith must be maintained by faith. That's good.
And it grows by faith.
Yeah.
And so we had to lock arms. And there was a couple of things that we did do. We took communion together, and we asked God to help us to, move forward, that I would fully recover. And we started the plan with Dr. Gucciardo. 2 years.
Wow. To God be the glory. So you go through that process. I'm imagining was not an easy one.
It's horrible.
Right? And up and down. And how does your disposition change now from going to, it's fine if I do, if we do or we don't, to now like, okay, we've actually incorporated this in the plan, and now we kind of like want to see it happen.
Yeah.
Did you ever kind of come to that place and get a little fearful that, man, we're putting this in a plan, and now like, is it going to happen? Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. But Dr. Gucci, I call him Dr. Gucci. Dr. Gucci, because he makes Gucci.
I love it.
Dr. Gucciardo kept saying, no stress. And so for me, a part of that process was I didn't just reduce stress by myself. I got into therapy, and I also have an emotional intelligence coach. And so with those 3 people, I learned how, now my friends call me sensei. Like, I just learned how to chill.
Sensei Danielle.
Yes. Like, and even in the process of, I'm also an ordained apostle. In the process of becoming and being in schooling and all of that, as it pertains to my ordination, I had to go through deliverance. And so, I've been through deliverance several times, and I also do deliverance, but it's nothing like becoming ordained and that being a part of the process.
Yes.
I think coupled with those 4 things, my soul is just silent. It's just silent. It's just very chill. And so that was a part of it. Anytime those fears would come up, there would be nowhere for them to go. Because, that's an ex-boyfriend. Fear. We're not in a relationship like that no more.
Good. Good.
So that's how I had to start. I had to start coming up with little things like that so I could resist fear. But yeah.
And it's intentionality. What I'm hearing is, I love how you're identifying, certain things, and then being intentional about, okay, how do we handle this? How do we deal with this? First of all, please forgive me, Apostle. I totally forgot. Apostle in the house, but like you said, all of those things help to create the boundaries that is needed to help alleviate you and eradicate, right? For the most part, stress. Stress is a killer.
It's a killer.
Stress is a killer. I think I talked about one of my previous episodes about, having endometriosis. I didn't get into a whole lot about how I believe that came about. And I actually believe it came about by stress. That's a whole story for a whole different day.
Mm.
But it can affect, right, your vitality and can affect, how you're able to produce. And so I love that you've taken the steps. And if anything, may you guys take notes about that. Take the steps to identify and rectify, so that what God has already planned for you and your spouse can come to pass and fruition. I love how you said, you guys had plans or worked on something for 15 years, and then here comes, here comes God's plans. And so,
can I say something?
Yeah, please.
I think a lot of women leave themselves to the back burner until it's too late. And I believe that's why God gave me the mission, behind the mission of Worship in My City, which is to help men and women staff their life for their own victories. It's very important that we have a team of people and we release our faith for the resources to secure those people so that we set ourselves up to win. My mom died at 47. And breast cancer is something where, in cancer in general, doing research and things of that nature, like, stress, inflammation, diet, and also what's going on in the body, all point to those things. She died before her time. And so I think one of the major lessons I learned here is, if there's one thing that I could do, is put myself back at the top of the to-do list. If I could do that, then everything else will fall.
So tell us, how do we do that, right? You've had an entrepreneurial mindset from, a little girl, and you've been working all of these years in different capacities and fulfilling your passion. How do we prevent from getting to that burnout stage again? And I know you put all those parameters in place, but now let me shift my question. How do we maintain that balance? How do we maintain that? You're a worship leader, you're an apostle, you're a producer, you're all singer, all of these things, a mom, a wife. How do we maintain balance?
The first thing I would say is understanding what regulates your nervous system is really important. So it doesn't have to be anything you pay for. 5 deep belly breaths stabilize your vagus nerve. And so if you could at least get your 5 deep belly breaths in, then you will be in a space where you could come back to yourself, be grounded, and take a beat before you have to move on. I make a lot of decisions every day. And so being high capacity, you have to learn how to stabilize yourself throughout the day so that you can do what's necessary. So understanding what regulates the nervous system is important, and it's free. Taking a walk, journaling, different things like that. The second thing I would say is make a commitment to pay for what you need. Do not wait for someone to check on you. You have in your schedule check-ins. So, you pay for your therapist, you pay for, your holistic doctor. I don't just have a PCP, I have a holistic doctor and a nurse practitioner. All of them look at my blood work, and I do blood work several times a year. Because I don't want to be on the other end of life. I want to be in a place where I could be investing in preventative care. The other thing I will say is that God has built-in systems throughout the scripture in the Hebraic calendar that help us to rest. So you have, the weekly, which is the Sabbath, the monthly, which is Rosh Chodesh, and things of that nature, the festivals throughout the year. Just looking into the Hebraic calendar would give you an insight on how we could reset. A lot of times, our continuing to go is really us thinking that everything won't happen if we're not in it. And the truth is that God must be the source.
Amen.
We can't plug into ourselves. And so returning back to that in a weekly rhythm, even daily rhythm, I host 5 a.m. prayer and worship in my city. The daily rhythm, the weekly rhythm, all of these things are important. And then, of course, saying no. Having those boundaries, but you can't
Have them know.
You can't have and enforce a boundary if you yourself are not the person you need to be in order to enforce it. Right.
Yeah, that's so.
And so, those are a couple of things that I would say. Also, too, having your friends in categories. I think it's really important to organize your friends so that you don't give the wrong person proximity, because that also takes away from, your energy, and it heightens your cortisol. So you want to have the right people close to you, the right people a little further away, and the right people even more further away.
Good. This is so
Yeah.
good. Please take notes. And this is why she was the apostle.
Oh, God.
Okay. Wealth of knowledge, and it comes through the experience. It comes through the
Yes.
journey. So thank you for sharing
Absolutely.
many of that with us, so that we can keep these things in mind. Tell us about baby.
Yes.
Tell us about baby, and segueing in that balance, right?
Yeah.
Babies are a lot.
They are.
But tell us about baby, and how the journey has been thus far.
My pursuit is always faith. And so my pregnancy was beautiful. And it was beautiful because I read this book called Supernatural Childbirth.
High five. God is faithful.
Yes. And so I didn't have, anything that, like the symptoms, nausea, none of that. It was just like, I felt like a little glowing orb, and so, passed all the tests. And so the only thing I would say is that because of my age, it was called geriatric, and I ain't like that name.
Me neither.
Don't do it. Don't do it, baby. I'll run you, doctor.
Right.
No. But yeah, so it was the best. And then I would say the only point is the birth.
Yeah.
I had a doula, and I had all the honey sticks, because you're not supposed to eat while you're in labor.
They didn't tell me that. I was throwing up. No, they told me, but I was like, I'm hungry.
Oh, you threw it up?
I threw up.
Oh my God.
My husband, every time he tells a story, he's laughing because I literally, I couldn't open my eyes. I'm hovering over the garbage can. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
I was hurling everything.
Those contractions are no joke, though.
No joke.
No, seriously.
Ain't no joke. Nothing like it.
Yeah. What's crazy is I was like, oh, I'm ready to have it because I was 2 days past my due date. Like, okay, it's time to go. And then they started at 12 a.m. and they were 25 minutes apart. And by 2 a.m. they were 2 minutes apart in my house. Yeah. Yes. Because the doula was like, no, these contractions, and it's not the real ones yet. Oh. But when it was 2 minutes apart, I said, lady, love you. You're great. Going to the hospital
now.
So I went into the hospital screaming. I like a banshee. Like, literally, if someone would have Instagrammed me, they'd be like, is this the apostle? Yeah. Like,
that's when you get off it, is.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God. I was screaming so hard they told me that I couldn't get an epidural. So yeah, so I had to calm down in order to get the epidural. Yeah. Okay. So my water hadn't broken at the time, but I was having those bad contractions. They broke my water for me. And then I started pushing, but they said, no, hold on. You're too riled up. Let's see if you could calm down to get the epidural. So I made myself calm down, got the epidural, but then I pushed for over 4 hours, which was not supposed to happen. So his shoulders were too broad to come down the canal, the doctor said, so I had to get an emergency C-section, which wasn't a part of my plan. But the plan was, because I had a talk with one of my pastor friends, he was like, listen, even though you have a plan to have a natural birth, is not the plan for you to have a healthy baby and a healthy mama. And so I had to kind of shift a little bit because, when you're a faith person, if you are attached to that specific, you're like, it's going to happen.
Of course.
Of course. So, yes. So I had to shift. And so healthy baby, healthy mama, but a C-section was my situation. And that was a different, postpartum experience for me. It was very painful. And then I thought I overdosed on Tylenol. This is hilarious.
For you?
I know.
Or the baby?
Me. So they sent me home with Tylenol and Motrin, and I was taking 10 of the wrong things. Oh. I don't know what I was taking, honestly. And I thought I overdosed. And I was like, this is gonna sound so stupid. I was like, I'm alive, whoa. And then I made an appointment with the virtual doctor, and he was like, ma'am, you can't overdose on this. And it's supposed to hurt. You just had a baby.
Like you. I'm like, oh my God, that's happening. Yeah.
Right? But he said something so profound. I said, but I'm in so much pain. He said, you're supposed to be in pain. Mm-hmm. You just had a baby. You had a C-section. And I wanted to smack him.
Everything hurt.
No, that's not the answer I was looking for, bro. But then also, I do understand those heavy drugs, like you really can't,
Yeah.
be on it. I knew I needed to be cautious. And so, yeah, that just kind of shifted the whole experience, and I had to slow down.
Yeah.
It's the first time.
Yeah.
Like, sister, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been amazing. I have a husband that is an incredible father. He doesn't act like a babysitter. He doesn't act like when you coming home, and it's been incredible for me to be able to watch him grow as a father, and so he turned to him the other day and he was like, son, I'm sorry because I would have had you sooner if I just had more faith. Yeah, I know.
Please. I don't have tissue. Okay.
I know. I just thought that was so. Yeah, he just brings so much joy.
Yeah.
To the house. He's so open. Yeah, he's bright-eyed.
Listen, I'm already claiming him a little bestie because it's just adorable and full of life. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Man, well, blessings. This is amazing to hear. And I know this is just a portion of the journey, but so meaty and fulfilling to just see God's hand on your life, your husband's life, and how we can have plans and feel like, this is the way I'm going. But God is like, no, here are my plans, and causes, a shift or really just bringing a greater dynamic into our lives that we didn't even know we needed or wanted. It's desired, and so kudos to you for managing all of that. It's such, again, an honor to have you, and thank you so much for sharing and being transparent and vulnerable with us.
I loved being here. I hope I can come again.
We have to. We have to get hubby.
Okay.
With you next time, because we got to get the couple dynamics.
Oh my gosh,
what that is.
That's gonna be
having a child. So before you leave, fun facts. What was your craving when you were pregnant with your son?
Okay, I didn't have cravings.
Okay.
But around month 8, I did want a milkshake, so I felt like, ooh, craving. And so, yeah.
She had one craving.
Yeah, like
1 month. What kind of milkshake?
This supernatural childbirth thing really worked, child. I was just sitting there eating salad.
It's so good. Oh, really?
Salad and water.
That's amazing.
Seriously.
That's good.
Cookies and cream.
Okay.
That was our milkshake from Chick-fil-A.
I love it. You can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A milkshakes.
I know.
What is something that you feel you've implemented from your late mom into mommyhood already?
Oh, that's a good question. One of the things I have implemented is preparation. I feel like I've gotten better at it because, I used to be on my own time.
Yep.
You know what time that is. That's the time where, you say, girl, I'll see you at 12 and I'll be there the next day. Like, girl, oh man. But now it's like making every moment count, and then also preparing the night before has been like a game changer. And so it's made me better. Yeah.
Good.
Prep.
All right. Last question. What do you look forward to with your son as he's growing?
I look forward to creating a life for him that supports him. I feel like that's one of the main things I've been thinking about in postpartum world is the privilege of being able to create a life. What kind of life do I want to create for my son? And what environment and atmosphere would best support his gifts? And so I'm looking forward to creating something where I see him come alive. He's already like so explorative and curious, and I want to see how to nurture that, keep that growing. I want to see where his curiosity will take him. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to.
What is the last thing or I won't say last thing, but what is something as we close that you would tell women who are hoping or desiring to have children, or women that are pregnant with children, of women that, they're managing this stage of life? Let's say that. Let me rephrase that question. What would you tell women who are managing this stage of life of having a child, but also, managing your entrepreneurial life and ministry and all of the things? What advice would you give them?
Hold fast to your confession of faith. There is a life that you could never know could exist outside of your faith. Meaning, God didn't need a grape in order for there to be wine. The potential for something to be doesn't even need to be present outside of your faith. Your womb can open up. Your postpartum can be filled with joy. Your parenting can be filled with wisdom through faith in Christ Jesus. He is the only one that can take you from A to B to C to D, and if he decides, take you to MNOP. It's God.
It's God. It's all God.
It's all God.
And it's all good.
And it's all good.
I love it. Thank you so much. Tell the ladies out there, let's grow and glow.
Let's grow and glow.
Grow and glow. Grow and glow. Love it. Thank you so much, Danielle. Blessings to you, your family, and looking forward to the next time we can.
What an honor. I love you.
Love you. Well, POF crew, thank you for joining us today. It has been an amazing podcast. Shout out again to Danielle Johnson. Hold up, Apostle Danielle Johnson and her family. We're just so grateful for all that God is doing in her life and will continue to do in their life. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Listen, if there's someone who you know that is pregnant or desiring to be pregnant or, mommying, recently had a baby or mommying over the age of 40, invite them to this community and also let us know. We would love to have them on our show so we can continue to tell the stories and the testimonies of the amazing things that are happening in our lives of being pregnant over 40. Until next time, continue to grow and glow. God bless you.